What's up, guys?
This episode of FF in the Zone is going to be about the 2014 draft class.
And at the third pick, the Jaguars shocked the world, and we didn't know if a quarterback would even go top 10, and we didn't know who it would be, whether it was Johnny Manziel, Bridgewater, or Bortles, because this draft was very unpredictable, and that's why it was probably one of the best ones. And the Jaguars picked Blake Bortles with the third pick, and where do you see this guy going, and what do you think his production can be?
I think his production is going to be around a mid to high quarterback too. I don't think he'd exceed those standards considering the fact that he's on Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's very hard to come in, start right away, but he's got some weapons who have their moments, like Justin Blackmon. He comes in and makes some big plays, but he has to stay on the field. Cecil Shorts, and their running back has a lot of issues right now. They really don't have any big name right there right now. But Blake Bortles, I think you could, like exactly what you said, maybe like a quarterback too, and bye-week replacement, and maybe he could come in later in the season and maybe become a starter or a trade bait for you. And at the pick right behind him at 4, the Bills traded up and got Sammy Watkins from Clemson, maybe one of the best players in this draft. He has a lot of talent. This guy can make plays. Where do you see him?
He's definitely the best wide receiver. I see him as wide receiver too.
I honestly think he could be a wide receiver too, and I think this guy by the end of the year could possibly be a low end one. That's how much talent this guy has.
Great potential.
I think it was a great pick, a rookie quarterback who's going to become a sophomore quarterback this season. I mean, you got to get that quarterback. You got to get that guy a top receiver, a go-to guy, and I think they definitely got that with Sammy Watkins. I know I'm all over this guy already, but he never played a game, but I definitely think he has the talent, and I'm not going to say go take him second, third round because you've never seen him play, but I think he could definitely be a guy around the 5th round.
He's definitely going to be a great pick ever since they lost, considering the fact they lost Stevie Johnson.
And then the next wide receiver at number 7, the Bucks got Mike Evans. This guy is also another great player, and I think he also has a lot of talent. And right with Vincent Jackson and a young quarterback, Mike Glennon. Where do you see this guy is?
I see him as another wide receiver too, possibly going up to a 1.
A lot of people are already comparing this duo to the duo in Chicago with Jeffrey and Marshall.
This is good.
Calm down, guys. Mike Evans, I'm not going to say anything about him. He's a great player in college with Texas A&M, but Alshon Jeffrey, you saw the plays he can make. And Brandon Marshall, this guy's been playing for many years. He's a veteran. So I think he could go around the same spot where Sammy Watkins is in. And if you're in a keeper league, this guy maybe could definitely be your guy for a few years to come, because he's a tall receiver, and I think he could definitely be a go-to guy. And he's not going to see as much coverage as a number 1 would see, because they also got Vincent Jackson and also they got Timothy Wright, who made some plays last year also. And then the next weapon offensively was number 10, the Lions, Eric Ebron, and this guy has Calvin Johnson on the team, so you know he's going to be
not a lot of targets.
Exactly.
He's a very big tight end, 6'4".
Yeah, I mean, this guy is going to be...
I think he's going to be a pretty solid tight end.
Matthew Stafford has a lot of weapons on the field right now, and I think... where do you see him going in the tight end ranks?
In the tight end ranks, I think he's going to be definitely somewhere around top 10 and middle of the season. He's going to have great potential on this team.
Yeah, I agree. And then Odell Beckham to the Giants, and this guy is a very fast receiver. Guy can make plays in the slot, especially with his speed and big play type ability. Kind of reminds me of like Tavon Austin.
Yeah, he's going to be a big-time receiver on this team.
Next up, what do we got here? Brandon Cooks to the Saints, and he slid a little bit. I thought he wouldn't get past the Jets. In a lot of mock drafts I've seen, he didn't get past the Jets, but he did, and they traded the Cardinals to get there, and so they're very high on him. And they got Kenny Stills. He had a good year. Marcus Colston. So this guy, another guy. Plays like Odell Beckham, and a lot of similarities. Both slot receivers he can play. And then next you got Johnny Football. This guy slid, and they traded up from the Eagles. And Johnny Football, what do you got to say about him?
I think he's going to be
because they even said right now he's on the 3rd string right now.
Yeah.
So if you're an owner, you kind of diss Johnny Manziel here, no?
Yeah, but I think he's gonna climb up that depth chart, and I think he could be a solid QB
Well,
too.
Hoyer started off the season good, had a winning record, and then he went
got
down.
injured.
So I think, do
on
you
the
think he's
Thursday
going to
night
start by the end of the year?
Depending on how training camp goes, but right now he would probably.
Do you take a chance with him at the end of the draft?
No, I would not.
No. So you let him go to free agency?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I think that no, that's not it. You got Kelvin Benjamin to the Panthers at the 28th pick. This guy is a 6'5" wide receiver, 240 pounds from Florida State. What do you got to say?
I think he's going to be pretty good on the Panthers, considering the fact that they lost many of their weapons.
Steve Smith got traded away to Baltimore. So this guy, Panthers had an issue with the wide receiver spot, and what do? They got him one of the best, probably the best wide receiver available at the 28th spot, and they got Kelvin Benjamin. And this guy, I think he can maybe go 8th, 9th round around that spot. And do you think he could be a wide receiver too?
I think he could be a wide receiver too, flex play.
I think you could trust him as a wide receiver 3 in the draft, but I definitely think he could go up your depth charts in fantasy and possibly go around the wide receiver 2 spot.
Yes, I agree.
And the final spot was the final pick in the draft, Teddy Bridgewater, the Minnesota, and Minnesota's got a lot of quarterbacks right now.
Yeah.
Do you think he could start by the end of the year?
I think he's going to be starting, considering the fact that they traded to get him, and I think he's going to be a solid QB.
Do you get him fantasy?
I don't think I would be able to trust him with the...
Especially the amount of depth in fantasy right now. There's so many quarterbacks in the draft.
You could look elsewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the episode, guys. Expect another episode of the free agency, all the moves there, and thank you for watching.